Yo, 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 yo. I think we're live. What's up, everyone? Welcome, welcome, welcome. The first FPPL draft. I'm so excited for this. Division 3 Midwest. About to see, like Dalton just said, all the defensemen go extremely early in this draft. We'll see how it pans out, though. I'm excited. So I'm not in this draft. I'm just using presenter mode to follow along. And my goal will be to live commentate and see kind of how the picks are going to go. Kind of our first attempt at doing this, but I'm excited. I hope it works out. And should be easier for me to answer some questions today in the chat because it's not going to be, I'm not also drafting on the left monitor. I'm going to be able to manage both. So it should be a little bit easier. I'm starting to prep a video for like the changes we've seen so far in training camp and how that's going to impact a lot of the players. So we've definitely seen a lot happen so far. It's just I don't want to release it too early and then have like significant changes. We still haven't figured out a lot of the lines, though. Like, I'm really curious to see what happens with that Florida top power play unit this year. Hey, Mike, is this a personal league draft for you or a mock? Sorry, just joined in. No, thanks for asking. This is our Fantasy Puck Patreon leagues. So this is year 2 of our leagues. We basically host leagues through our Patreon. It's a monthly fee. And you compete against all the other managers in our Discord or in the Fantasy Puck community. And then you get promoted and relegated based on how you finish at the end of the season. So this is a Division 3 draft. We have 4 divisions. So this is basically tier 3. So some of the managers that may be finished a little bit lower. But it still should be really competitive. I'm super excited for it. I mean, if you have any questions about how this works, I'm free and open to talk about it as well. Myself and the other FP members are all in Division 2, and then we have our Division 1 draft. I can figure out the date in a second. That one is basically with all the winners. So we had 8 leagues last year, so 8 winners, and then the top 4 teams. So that one's going to be like extremely competitive. Basically all the best managers from last season. So Division 1 set for September 30th, Monday, September 30th at 8 p.m. Eastern. So that's going to be super exciting. We're going to live stream all of these drafts. Can we participate? So right now, I think we have 3 spots left. And then it's going to go to a waiting list. So basically, if you sign up, we'll put you on a waiting list for next season. We're going to open up hopefully 4 more leagues, so 16 total. We had about a 75% retention rate, so people coming back this year. So there should be some spots next year. But if you're interested, the link is below. I do think we have spots available. I think we have 3 left. And then you get put on a waiting list. So if a manager backs out, you will basically secure a spot in one of the leagues on a already drafted team. So we're just basically the goal of this is like I'm sick and tired of everyone playing in leagues that are not competitive. Don't make trades, so they're not active. You have auto drafters. So there's a lot of issues when you just play in your own home leagues. Like the bottom 6 guys give up halfway through the season. So the Patreon kind of gives people incentive to keep playing in these leagues. And then also keeps it really competitive. And then you move up and down your divisions based on where you place at the end of the year. So you either go with people of your skill level if you win, or people of your skill level if you lose. What 2 players between Kaprizov, Hughes, Makar, Panarin, and Miller do you take? Makar and Kaprizov are my 2 there. I got 5th pick, league counts, hits, and Pims. Grab Cooch, Pastor, or one of the Kachuk bros. With Pims, I would be taking Matt Kachuk. Florida's going to be exhausted with back-to-back finals. Yeah, I saw that a lot of guys aren't like fully ready for like their games today. I know they have 2 games. Spencer Knight is starting in one of them too, so I'm really interested to see what happens with him. And no music in this stream today. Sweet man, good luck. I'm not drafted in this, by the way. This is presenter mode, so I'm just going to be following along in the draft and basically commenting to see, you know, some of the steals, some of the early picks. So this is just basically live commentary. My draft is set for, I'm in Division 2 West. So mine's set for Sunday the 29th. the one I'm going to be in. And then we'll also have like Noah, Don, or Chris. They're going to be basically live commentating my draft, and I'll be live commentating theirs. That's the goal. Pretty excited to be in the league this year. My draft's on the 1st. Yeah, it's going to be awesome. Super. Yeah, we have yours ready to go. Looks like maybe Chris will be streaming yours. Big thank you for all the content. Went into my 2 drafts with a solid plan. Had lots of confidence. I love that. Living Legend, you just take the time to research, and that gets you so far ahead of everybody else. Very interested to see how this goes. I'm Division 2. Me too, man. Super excited. Where's the music at? No music in here. My keeper league drafts at 3:30. I took it over the summer. 12 teams. My keepers are Panarin, Hellebuck, Fox, Sorokin. Pretty good. You don't really have to focus on goalie at all. It's just forward and defenseman heavy. Just describe my other league I'm in. FPPL is a godsend. I'm in tomorrow's draft. Oh, Dalton's going to be exciting. Yeah, we're going to be live streaming tomorrow's draft as well. Got that set up. So you're in the Division 3 North. Cool. Thanks, brother. Is Cal Connor good at 30th? Yep, I like that. Canucks sign Lankinen. Think it's Seelovs and him for tendies. So I think they might run 3 goalies and reduce the workload of Demko. That's kind of what I wrote down in my notes this morning as I'm prepping for one of my videos next week to basically outline who's falling in their rankings or their value this year and who's improving based on what we've seen in training camp. And that's a big one. So will we be giving out grades? I won't be giving out grades. No, that's a little bit too much. But it's a great idea. Wayne of Terror looking like the league favorite. Second pick, Wayne. Can I get your take on Jeremy Lozon? Just a hits guy, but I'm fine with that if you're lacking in hits. Are you going to live stream the creators draft? Yes, we are. That is going to be on the 1st at 9 p.m. So we have a draft at 7 on the 1st and then one at 9. So those are going to be full live streams. So we're going to be basically live for like 3 hours. We might swap out who's going to be there. Okay, here we go. Draft is starting. So Noah's a neat team with the 1st overall pick. I think it's a no question here. Connor McDavid. This is a fantastic idea. I'm excited. Me too, man. Really excited, actually. Taking a little long to make your decision. Imagine we see McKinnon go 1st overall here. There's no way, right? I'm assuming it's going to go McDavid, McKinnon, Matthews, but we'll see in that 3 to 5 spot or 3 to 6 spot. What fantasy tools are included with the Patreon membership? So we have our projections. We have our category expected value sheet, which is if you're in category leagues. Goalie projections. Oh, so yeah, McDavid, McKinnon, or McKinnon, McDavid. 2 good picks there, of course. And then you also get access to our Discord. So you get access to a premium Discord channel with myself and the other FP members, and then all the other premium members. Okay, so the first 3 go as we expected here with the 3 big centers. So now, okay, so Pasta does go 4. Interesting. What up, brother? Love the content. Is Brady worth the top 5 pick in a league with Pims and faceoff wins? Yes, he is. Okay, so Dry does fall to 6 to XD Park. Very, very good Discord member. Been in there for a long time. Chichu Train too, I see a lot. Do you think with the unknown Swayman, is Brandon Boosie under a radar? Oh, that's interesting. Is he supposed to be the backup? Was he the guy that was really good in the AHL for them? He could be if you're basically doing the tandem, and maybe as a goalie 3, it's pretty interesting. I'm really high on Korpisalo. I'm really excited to see where Korpisalo falls in this draft. Okay, so basically the first 7 picks go as expected. It's going to be Makar here, I'm guessing, for Chichu Train. Hey, Mike, how would you value each of these categories in head-to-head? Goals, assists, points, shots, PPP. Should they all be equal or different? They should definitely be different. Look at the Yahoo standard. Wow. Brady Tkachuk over Makar here. I don't mind it. Brady was a beast in this league last year. Dr. Doom's time to shine. Artemi Panarin goes to the 9th pick. And wow, Makar goes to 10. Jack Hughes. So it's going to be Kaprizov Miller here. Or sorry, Tkachuk Kaprizov. It's a really good start for Jimmy. He just needs to find those defensemen late, like round 3s. So he's not going to pick in defenseman for a while. Does he go Yossi here? He does not go Yossi. Does Cole Cuts take Yossi here? I think he might. Let's see. Yossi or JT Miller. And then Nate could potentially start Makar Yossi. He does go Miller, so does he? It has to be either Yossi or Nylander, I'm guessing. Let's see what happens. Wow, Nylander. Noah taking time to thank everyone for their hospitality before taking McDavid. I love it. So Panarin, Reinhart to start. Wow, so Chichu Train gets Kachuk Yossi. Oh, he grabs Forsberg. No way. There it is. Ranted and Yossi, the dream start for pucking pylons. And he said it earlier. Michael Loomis. Wow, Darlene goes next pick. We're gonna see all 4D now, right? We're gonna see Bouchard Hughes here. Or does he grab Hyman? Is it 45 seconds per pick? Yes, it is. So Bouchard goes. Okay, so the 3D in a row. Yes, all the projections are customizable. Brady at 5th overall at 10 teams in a bangers with Pims. Yep, I agree. Yep, I'm good with that. So Pedersen goes. You got to think Hughes goes in one of these picks here. I'm fine with Hughes mixed with Matthews as well. Because Matthews isn't super power play focused. Okay, there goes Hughes. Perfect. Now, this is the tough part. Because ADP is telling you to draft a goalie here, but I don't think you go goalie. I don't think you can grab another defenseman. So this is where it gets really tough for Wayne. It's probably one of the most difficult draft spots here. Adam Fox. Wow, interesting. I don't think he's my choice there. So Noah's got the back-to-back. It's tough reaching on a defenseman at this part of the draft. So he might either go Hedman or Dobson. I think he has to grab one of them. And then J-Rob, potentially. There's a little bit of a worry with his injury right now. But I saw it was just a cyst. So it's like nothing serious. It's not like he has like a fractured ankle. Or like a broken foot. Like that would be a lot more concerning for me. So he goes J-Rob. Okay, I'm good with that. That's what I was thinking. I love taking Kachuk and Kaprizov back-to-back. Yeah, it's a really good start. Then I assume he's going to be going back-to-back defenseman, or if a forward falls. We'll see how these picks end up. I'm going to guess he's going to go Dobson or Hedman here. If not, they're probably going to go in the middle of that 3rd round. I wonder if Jimmy takes a look at Meyer or Tage Thompson at that pick and goes like Tage and a defenseman at the end of the 3rd round. How long are you fading goalies? I usually grab my goalies around like 6 and 7, maybe a little bit later. It really depends on how the draft goes. Okay, so he does go Dobson. So McDavid, J-Rob, Dobson. That's a pretty good start for me. You got to think Hedman's going to be going somewhere in this round. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 defensemen already, and we're just entering the 3rd round. Who are your thoughts on starting Makar Yossi the first 2 picks? Yeah, I'm totally cool with that. So McKinnon, Fox, Hyman. So Noah's Need team did have the opportunity to pair up McDavid and Hyman, but he elected to go J-Rob, which I'm fine with. So Jägerbombs really needs to shift his focus to grabbing some hits in the middle rounds now, because he basically grabbed Marner and Hughes, who are like low shot total, high point guys. Not much blocks, not much hits. So Sider's going to be a priority for Jägerbombs if he falls there. You got to think with the category coverage, and maybe grab someone like Trouba. Boosie has really good stats and possibly could steal a net from Corp. Interesting. Man, I love those like little takes. Are you a Boston fan, Brigwa? Would you have taken Hedman or Dobson? Personally, I think Hedman's better. Yeah, it's really close. Great pick with Point. That's a really good start with Kucherov, Bouchard, Point. Really, really strong start. I think I would have taken Point over both Hyman and Marner. Outside of the top 4 D-men, I don't think anyone else should be going this early. I know, but you have to secure defensemen. It's so tough. You don't want to be like drafting a bunch of like shot in the darks or lottery tickets. You do, but like you don't want to have your whole decor focused on those lottery ticket picks. But you could have skipped over those 2 guys and maybe looked to grab Carlson in the 4th round. Gensel goes. Wow, so puck with Tage. Mikko, Yossi, Tage start really strong. DX Park doesn't have a center yet either because Leon is multi-position. Tage is multi-position for puck pylons there. So Sheldog grabbed the only PRC after round 1. I think Reinhardt has dual position. JT Miller has dual position. Is PD at 14 way too early? Yeah, a little bit too early for me. I think I would grab Yossi over him. So Morrissey goes to Chichu Train. Starts Brady, Forsberg, Morrissey. So he's good in his hits. Like, pretty, like, evened out category start. So that should be solid. Wow, Dougie goes. And that was a quick pick for Nate, too. D are flying off the board. I think Jimmy was hoping to grab Dougie or Morrissey there. So see who Cold Cut grabs here. I don't know if it's going to be a defenseman. It is a defenseman, McAvoy. How do the divisions work? You're basically, if you're new, you're put into the lowest division. If you're a returnee, you get put in division based on how you finished last year. So all the top 12 teams are in Division 1, and then the next top 24 teams are Division 2. The next 36 teams are Division 3. That's how it works. So we had pretty much 75% of returnees. Wow, Bedard for Jimmy. Interesting pick. So you got to think wow, Bedard Stutzel. So he's not drafting defensemen here. Really? That's going to be interesting to see how that shapes out for his team. He might be able to grab Faber in round 5. I'm going to assume Carlson goes this round here. There's a lot of defensemen off the board. So we'll see how he ends up, right, at the end of the season when he, fading defenseman early, how that impacts his team long term. Sorry, guys, trying to follow everything. Kyle Connor goes, great pick. Aho was a good pick there too. It's going to be the late rounds where we're really going to see the difference makers. He and DeBrus mesh well. Which D-man do you take first? Uyghur, Sider, or Sergachev? Sider for me. Uyghur or McAvoy? McAvoy. Isn't Cooch point stack risky? No, not at all. Pylon's crushing. Yeah, I like his team so far. So no goaltender. I think I would actually be taking Shesterkin in this round if he's fallen into the 4th round. I would not be surprised to see Puck Pylons grab Shesterkin right here. Or Hellebuck. That's another cool thing, guys. There's no goalies off the board yet. This is really interesting to see. How's there no goalies? I know. You got to think Shesterkin goes right here. Right? There it is. Good pick. Good pick. I completely agree with that pick there. Man, Puck Pylons is having a really strong draft right now. And I like Shell Dogs quite a bit. You got to think Hellebuck has to go in this round. And if you're drafting and listening to the stream, you don't have to follow what I'm saying. You think Pylon's listening? I do think he's listening. Wow. There goes Timo Meyer. Nice pick, D Park. I always call you DX Park. I don't know why. XD Park. So Meyer fell to the middle of the 4th round. You got to think Shesterkin goes or Ottinger goes in this round here. I think you're crazy not to grab him. Moritz Seider. That would have been a good pick for Jaeger bombs there. Pylons with a big smile. Yeah, there goes Hellebuck. Good pick. They were falling too much, those 2 goalies. Wow, Tippett in the 4th round. I think you could have waited on him. Interesting pick. He got his guy with the hits, though. But I think it was too early. You got to think Ottinger goes on this turn here for Noah. I think you go Carlson, Ottinger. Something like that. After Makar, Yossi, who should I take first? Darlene, then Bouchard, then Hughes. What are the cats for this draft? I can pull it up for you. Let me go to league settings. So this is the scoring here for the draft. Maybe I can... So he goes Saros. Okay, so he grabbed his goalie. I can't. But yeah, these are the cats. And for those that are wondering, we had some questions earlier. This is our Fantasy Puck Patreon League draft. This is one of 12 that will be streamed. If you're interested in joining, we have only a few spots left, but you will be put on a waiting list if you're interested. Wow, Saro Zib. I'm okay with that Zib pick. He shouldn't be going as late as he's currently going. So Ottinger goes, good pick. Jagerbaum grabs weaker, so his category coverage is there. Good pick. What do you guys think? Should there be a bigger delay on this draft? I think it's like 20-second delay. Do you think I'm helping people out too much in their draft? I'm trying not to. Maybe there should be a minute delay. We'll see. Yeah, it is early with Tippett. I agree. Like, you can even find hits later. Wow, there's Ovi in the 5th round. Doesn't look good in skating right now, but I heard there's literally going to be no change in his deployment. Like, they're just going to roll him top line, top power play unit. Great pick with Svechnikov. I saw Svech was skating top line, top power play unit already in camp. Back with Aho and Jarvis. That line should be very strong this year. Another good pick in Kempe. Wow, this round's shaping out to be pretty good. So there goes Heiskanen. Still think I would be taking John Carlson over him. Took Exhibit 67-73. Really good, James. Yeah, you're right. There should be a bigger delay, Paul. We'll do that for the next draft. This is our first time doing this, so it's going to be a little bit of, what's the word? Not baby steps. I don't know. Just learning, I guess. I would say a minute delay. Yeah, I appreciate the feedback, guys. So Boldy goes. I was going to ask when Boldy was going to go, so that's a good pick there. And then Eichel's a little bit risky. It looks like Sav has the 3 centers locked up. So who's Colcutt's going to go? Is he like, you can't grab Swayman here. I don't think he's going to go goalie. He's probably going to grab Carlson, I think, and grab his second defenseman. Sergachev, interesting. Maybe more reactionary than predictive commentary. I know. I feel like when Tony Romo was the announcer, remember when he was announcing for he was doing like color commentary or an analyst for the NFL, and they had to tell him to stop predicting everyone's picks or everyone's plays. Sorry. 212 viewers, 12 likes. Make sure you guys leave a like. It just gets the word out a little bit more, gets more people in here, more questions to ask. Helps grow the community. So Jimmy takes his first D. So he went 4 forwards to start, then grabs Riley and Carlson and goaltender. Jimmy's had a pretty good start too. I like Pylon's start. I don't know if I like the Heiskanen pick as much there though, but it's still really good. It's not like you're not exhausting a lot of draft capital in the 5th round. You are, but it's not like as bad. It's less risky. It's a learning curve. Yeah, I appreciate it. Mo Riley. Okay. Wow, Tavares goes in the 6th round. I did see he was power play 1. Yeah, Peterka is going to be probably one of the best picks in the draft. So for those that are interested, I just sent you a link. And that should be to a Google form. If you're interested in playing next year, again, we only have 3 spots left. Definitely sign up for that link, and we'll reach out to you before the season starts. Make sure you get into a league if you're interested. Again, we're going to open up hopefully 4 more leagues and go to 16 or 20. We'll see based on demand. But demand was really high this season. So Jarvis goes in the 6th round. I'm fine with that pick. I do think he's going a little bit early, but it's fine with me there. He had a really good season. He hits all the categories. So no Eriksson Ek and no Trocheck yet. So good pick. The first goaltender for D Park goes in the 6th round. Erik Karlsson's very, very interesting there. I'm really look at Jimmy's start too. Kachuk, Kirill, Bedard, Stützle, so really high upside with those guys. And then he went Mo and Karlsson, so he grabbed his defenseman. He just doesn't have any hits on his team. I actually guess he has Matt. Matt Kachuk's good for that. Jesper Bratt seems good to me. Grab his points guy. So Ronjo grabs his 2nd defenseman in Werenski. So D are pretty much like all of the top defensemen are off the board now. Now you're basically drafting guys for the power play 1 upside or for the category coverage. So where you can find those defensemen that will get you your blocks, your hits, everything. That should be the goal at this point now. Does everyone have 2 defensemen? Looks like Wayne has 1. Noah has 1. Shelldog has 2. So Park still needs another defenseman. Boldy's nice pick. I agree. Where should Caulfield get picked? Probably in the next round, you got to assume. Will Serg take PP1 or are they sticking with Dursey? We haven't found anything out yet, so I'm not 100% sure on where he's going to go. And there goes Caulfield right there. I think the stream's a little bit more delayed than that, so I assume it's not just a pick based on us talking about it. Yeah, JJ is no longer a secret. He's still falling in drafts. I think he's only drafted in like 19% of drafts right now. He'll go in this one for sure because there's a lot of sharp people in here, but I think in like non-competitive leagues, if you just draft with your buddies who don't follow fantasy hockey as much, you can probably steal Peterka. But the hat-trick first game does not help in hiding him. Whose team do you like the best so far? It's between Jimmy and Pylons. I really like Colcutt's too. Oh, I said Trocheck didn't go. He already went, so I lied. So Noah grabs Matheson. Okay, so he grabs his 2nd defenseman. Does he grab a 3rd here? I'm going to say no, he doesn't. I just don't know who the pick's going to be in the 7th round. Thoughts on Cam York? Yeah, I like Cam York a lot later. What's up, Fabrizi? Brad over Jarvis would have been perfect. Yeah, I think it's really close, the 2 of them. Jarvis just has like he'll help a bit more with the hit volume. Goes Keller. Okay, I'm okay with that as well. Keller is always like the most like fairly rated player. Like I feel like he doesn't outperform his ADP, but he doesn't go below his ADP. He's always around like 10 spots of where he gets drafted. He's skating with Schmaltz and Hayton right now in camp. And then it looks like Gunther's playing with Cooley and McBain. Okay, there goes Eriksson Ek. So Jägerbaum has just 2 strictly centers, so he's pretty much done for centers for the rest of the draft. But his team is a lot of good category coverage right now. I'm not a fan of that Georgiev pick, though. I did see Bednar said they're going to lower his workload this year and give more starts to a Noonan. So make sure you guys keep your eye on a Noonan. I'm trying to hype him up as much as I can. I hope Stu is back with Brady this season. It looks like they are. It looks like it's the Stützle, Kachuk, Giroux line right now in camp. That's what I've been seeing. Stream's more delayed, I promise. All right, I appreciate that. Why do we love Peterka? Line 1, power play 1. He was a top 20 even strength point player, a top 20 even strength shot player, and now he's skating top line, top power play unit. So he should be in line for a really good season. I love the shot volume. Like, that's the biggest thing I look for. If you have a good shot volume at 5-on-5 and then you get moved to the top power play unit, like, that should only help your scoring. And he's going like 170th in drafts. Like, he's falling. Do you think 60 points is realistic for Sanderson? It's optimistic, but it's still a good. And speaking of the devil, there goes Sanderson. I think it's a good pick. And I think 60 points is a little bit too high for me. It's all contingent on the Ottawa power play because they went from like the 8th best to the 22nd best in back-to-back years. So if they can find their stride again on that top unit, he could break out for a really strong season. I think we have him projected for like 50 points on the dot. Georgiev ever get more wins than Markstrom? Potentially. It's just a matter of how many starts he'll get. Because Markstrom still has Jake Allen as a backup who's very competent. So you could maybe see a 60-40 on the Devils team too. Good picking for Hagee there. Dual position eligible. He has a role on the top line of one of the best offensive teams in hockey, so that's good. I feel like picking late in draft seems like a better place to be. It all depends on how the draft ends up. Like, Jimmy could have taken Yossi there, but he elected to go Kachuk Kaprizov, which I agree with completely. I grabbed a Nuno in my last pick. Love it. Which team are you? I'm not drafting in this, guys. My draft is set for the 30th of September. I'm just basically commentating live on this draft. So Drew Doughty goes. So now defensemen are starting to thin out, right? So you're going to have to try and find those late round value players. I'm surprised Ekblad hasn't gone yet, but I don't think his spot's secured on the top power play. Chichu grabs his first goalie in Skinner. That's a guy I definitely would love to have as my G1. No Markstrom is interesting yet. I'm going to assume he goes within the next 4 picks. Great pick in Hagel. I saw he's power play 1 right now. I wonder if he would have fell to the next round, Nate, but you got your guy, right? I feel like you liked him. That's why you're quick to drafting him. You did the same thing with Dougie Hamilton. So there goes Markstrom. Good pick. No Carolina goalies yet. I wonder if Jimmy goes both of them on the turn here. Or one. That'll be interesting to see. Okay, so Sorokin. There's news that he is coming back. He seems to be getting a bit more healthy now. Could be a very, very big steal in the 7th round. So I don't mind that at all. How about Ronjo's team so far? I liked the Ovi pick quite a bit. You're going to need to find more hits, though, with drafting Hedman, Werenski. You're going to need to focus on that for your defense, for your defenseman picks or your forwards. DeBrincat's interesting. I got another guy like Keller who usually fits that ADP. I think I would have went Fiala there. I think I prefer Fiala over a decent amount of those players that went in that round. Like over Hagel too for me. Thoughts on Makachuk versus Rantanen. With Pims, I think both Kachuk brothers go a little bit higher in drafts. So Lafreniere goes in the 8th round this year. Interesting. It's between basically him or Slavkovsky there. But I'm just surprised going him over Fiala. Did Fiala go? I feel like he didn't go yet. And I bet we might see him right here. Or does Nate lock up his first goaltender in the draft? He does with Bobrovsky. He fell quite a bit. 8th round's really interesting for Bobrovsky. Prefer Peterka or Gunther? Probably Peterka for me. It's really close. And then Cousins over Quinn slightly, but I did see Quinn's power play 1 right now, and Cousins is not. So I will be talking about that in a video. Are you guys worried about Demko injury? I am, yes. They just signed Lankinen, which tells me they're either going 3 goalies to lower the workload, or one of Demko and Seelovs is hurt and may not start the season healthy. I don't know what the Seelovs injury is looking like right now. So Montour's an interesting pick there. I don't mind that. There's a lot of upside, and he does cover a decent amount of categories, but I love the Slavkovsky pick. I'm still surprised that Fiala has not gone off the board yet. I do think Slavkovsky would have went this round regardless, though. He has the upside to finish as probably like a 5th round value, 4th round value. Byfield over Laugh? I don't think so. Byfield just doesn't have good peripherals at all. Where Laugh actually has good hit volume, shot volume, and he's a 5-on-5 machine. I don't know who Byfield's line mates are going to be this year. That's a big one for me too. I'm high on UPL Kochekov this year. I feel like Freddie needs to get injured. Yes. And I think if you're drafting one, you definitely have to be drafting the other. for the Carolina goalies. Good pick in Konechny there. I like that.
'Cause I think if you're drafting one, you definitely have to be drafting the other. For the Carolina goalies. Good pick in Konechny there. I like that. 'Cause I think if you're drafting one, you definitely have to be drafting the other. For the Carolina goalies. Good pick in Konechny there. I like that.
Kairu's a guy that's falling a lot in drafts. I wonder if you could have waited on him, Jaeger. But again, you want to grab the guys you like. So, and he's dual position eligible. He's a easy breakout, not breakout candidate, but like he's falling way too much for his peripherals. And the good comparison here is Raymond versus Kairu, where Kairu's gonna get you like 100 extra shots and likely the same point production as Raymond. And it's crazy because Kairu's falling so much more in drafts. I guess Raymond does have the winger eligibility, like both left and right, where Kairu has the center and right. So he's a little bit limited there. But I think Jagerbombs is drafting Kairu to be his right winger. He's not drafting him to be a center. I think Falk sticks on PP1. I do think he will be the power play 1 defenseman. Does he stick there? I would say yes. Perunovic just hasn't really proved anything yet. 23 assists and 0 goals so far in his career in 73 games. Thoughts on Thompson on the Caps? I think the Caps are going to have a 50-50 split, so I would be a little bit worried about the Caps goalies. Like, they were a pretty bad defensive team last year. They gave up a lot of chances. So you got to keep that in mind. But they did get Chicker in, but he's not known for being a defensive-minded forward or defenseman. And then they got Dubois, who will help offensively, but you guys all know how Dubois plays. He's extremely lazy. So will he be helping the defense? I don't know as much. C-Loves had an interview the other day. He said he missed camp due to knee inflammation his day-to-day. Okay, so knee's a little bit worrisome for a goaltender. So I don't really know. Oh, there goes Fiala. So that's a great pick there. I'm really surprised he fell past a lot of the other guys in that round, if I'm honest with you. Fiala's a guy that will get you like 70 points, 250 shots, 25 power play points. Like, you know what you're getting from Fiala every single year. So Forsling goes before Ekblad. We have no indication on who's going to be that top power play defenseman in Florida, but we know there's minutes to go around now with no OEL and Montour there. So I assume Forsling will be one of the highest average time on ice defensemen in the league this season. So that means the floor is good there. Wow, so Jagerbombs grabs a third centerman. He already has 2 guys that are going to be just strictly center this year, and he grabs his third. So I don't know how I feel about that at that pick. Kairu and Pavel Buch have been falling big time in mocks. Yeah, I'm surprised about Buchnevich too. Like, he'll go in this draft, I assume, probably a bit later than you would hope. What round is a good round pick up Konechny? Right where he's going right here, like 7th, 8th round is solid for Konechny. He has like great deployment. Torts loves him. He doesn't like a lot of players, but he loves him. So the Nuge pick is really interesting. I was just talking to Sven about this. For those who are in Discord, know Sven. He's skating with McDavid this year. Like, he's projected to play top line with McDavid, and we saw what happened with Hyman last year. So Nuge is really interesting. He had a significant drop off last year. So I do have more interest in Nuge now than I did at the start of the season. He should get left wing eligibility, and he should be playing with McDavid the whole year, because they have Henrique there to be their 3C, which they didn't have last season until the deadline. So they're going to go McDavid, Draisaitl, Henrique, and then it looks like Nuge is going to be playing top line left wing. Do you think Zetterlund's going to have a breakout season? I think Zetterlund's in line to have a very strong season, actually. I'm interested in him. Do you take into account players' schedule? Nope, not at all. Doesn't affect anything for me, if I'm honest. I love the Heischer pick there. Another good pick from Pylons. He must be watching some of the videos, but he's falling a lot in drafts right now, and that Devils team, the whole team's on sale this year. Like, you see Meyer falling, you see like Nico Heischer falling, Brat went in the 7th round almost. So a lot of their players are on sale, and they had a really slow start to last year, and then the end of the year, like, they were one of the hottest teams in the league offensively. So if that's any indication of what we're going to see this year, I'm definitely going to be interested in some of their players. Am I high? End of 8th round, Peterka still available? Well, if you look at his ADP, you got to draft, take into account the ADP, so where you can grab him. And because he's like ADP 170, he's not on people's draft boards right now. And everyone's thinking the same thing. I can grab him around 12, around 13. You just got to find that sweet spot. Like, if you take it around 8, there's a chance he could fall around 12, and you just exhausted 4 extra rounds of draft. So there he goes, 9th round. That's funny. I think it's a little bit too early, but it's fine. I don't mind the Ekblad pick there as well. So McAvoy, Sergachev, and Ekblad. Thoughts on Tivoli? They're just like they're not that competitive, but he should be like a 30 goal, 60 point guy. But I can see them spending way too much time in their own end, where that's going to significantly impact Toffoli's offensive capabilities, right? Like when he was in New Jersey, it was like always in the offensive zone on that team. I love the Batherson pick. Jimmy's having a good draft right now. I'm really interested in Batherson. He's a category coverage monster as well. If you look up here, 104 hits, 210 shots, lots of power play points. So he's a good category coverage guy. Wow, Michkov in the 10th round. Interesting. So this Letang pick's interesting too because Carlson's hurt right now. He's day to day. So Letang, although was PP2 last year, 50 points and was a peripherals machine. So it's going to be really interesting to see what happens with Letang. Like if Carlson gets hurt, Letang will get bumped up to like a top 10, top 12 defenseman. So I don't mind taking a number 2 defenseman when their number 1 defenseman is very injury prone. Although Carlson has been healthy the last 2 years, you've known his career. He's quite the Band-Aid. And Letang did have time on the top power play unit last year. So Demko goes in the 10th round. It's a risk, but you got to think Nate's going to grab a third goaltender here. Who's playing with Jay Hughes this year? It's Bratton Meyer right now in camp. And Meyer's on the top power play unit, so he might end up being like a top 20 player this year. He's probably one of the best value picks in the draft right now in the early rounds, in my opinion. Power play 1 in Carolina is Shane Gostisbehere right now. It's Jarvis, Aho, Svechnikov, Natchez, and Gostisbehere. So, I mean, Natchez is also a really interesting pick who seems to be falling. So Chichu Train grabs Helen Skinner. You got to think he's going to grab the third Vegas goalie, or the second Vegas goalie. I probably would have preferred Kochetkov there and then grabbed Freddie on the turn. Be interesting to see. Allmark, I saw he's dealing with a little bit of an injury right now. It's a little bit concerning. I don't like the Ottawa Senators team, so Byfielder laugh for me. That's probably the closest name I've ever seen to Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. On rounds 2 and 3, if a top 5 defensemen are gone already, would you rather pick Marner, J-Rob, or pick one of 1F and Hedman? I feel like you got to grab one of those defensemen and then maybe grab J-Rob. Ooh, Sheldog. Elias Lindholm. Don't mind that. Skating top line with Pasternak right now. Should be getting very good deployment. He's a power play merchant. But I think he's battling with something in camp right now. So that's going to be something we have to keep an eye out for. He has not been skating the last 2 days. It's crazy how big of an impact training camp has on players. You taking Tippett over Konechny? I think I am, yeah. Just because the peripheral coverage is so strong from Tippett. Like 270 shots, 150 hits. It's really hard to give that up. I don't mind the Nurse pick here. I don't mind that. The categories, right? Like Ronjo really needs to focus on those hits and blocks right now, and he just got that with Nurse. He's almost a triple 200 guy. I have no idea what to expect from Chikrin this year. He is skating with Carlson top line. I don't know if he'll be on the top power play unit. I saw they want like Dubois, Mangiapane, Strome. Like they're all going to be there or are going to get looks early. I wouldn't be surprised if they ran 2 defensemen though. That's the same thing in Pittsburgh. Like, would you rather Rust and Bunting or would you rather Letang and Carlson? Be interesting to see. So Wayne grabs his 4th defenseman and Lozon just strictly hits there. So he's got his hits covered with one guy pretty much. Not like fully covered, but it should vastly improve his hit totals. And Noah's had a strong draft so far, so I'm really interested to see what he's thinking here. I think he grabs Freddie. And I don't know who he's going to go with this next pick, but you got to think Freddie goes off the board here. He still has... Okay, so both his centers are gone, so he needs wingers and a second goalie. So he grabs Shabbat, so he grabs his 4th defenseman. Shabbat's a little bit risky for me, but if he does play on the top power play unit over Sanderson, it's going to greatly improve his value. I just don't know if we're going to see that this season. Shabbat's like a lottery ticket pick, and we're late in the draft now, right? So you can be making those lottery ticket picks. They said it was soreness. Okay. For Carlson or for Allmark? It might be Allmark. Nuke will be back in November. Great stash. I agree. I like Lekanen as a stash too. Steve Dangle thinks Marner could get 125 points this year. I think Chris thinks the same, Wicked. Wow, Gunther there. Man, Noah's had a strong draft. And there goes Freddie. Okay, so that's expected. I think Pylons was hoping he'd go there. Wow, a Noonan. Interesting. I wonder if he would have fell. I really have no clue if he would have fell that like later in drafts or not. People are missing like the biggest steal in the draft right now, if I'm honest with you. I'm not going to say his name, but the biggest steal in the draft is still available. Thoughts on goaltending tandem of Swayman and Markstrom? Are you worried about Sway holding out? I think Sway won't sign till the deadline. I'm really concerned about him right now. In a draft with 6 forwards, 4D, 2 goalies, without any left wing, center, right wing max, would you still be concentrating on D-man early rounds? Yes, I would. I still would be for sure. Lows on what? Hitting machine. Yes, very good. Very good. So this is an interesting pick in Trouba. So Ronjo's going to have really no issues with his categories. He just grabbed probably like 2 of the top 5 best category coverage defensemen in Nurse and Trouba. I think Sider and Uyghur are also up there. But look, Uyghur went 5th round. Sider went a little bit earlier, I think. Yeah, in the 4th round. So he's getting pretty much the same value. A little bit less in the point production, but still really good. Sheldog grabs his 3rd pure center, too. So that's interesting. You guys remember when Hintz was like 2nd or 3rd round pick like 2 years ago? It's crazy he falls this much, but his peripherals are very, very poor. Lane Hudson, man, there's still a really good defenseman available. You can still grab. I don't want to be saying names because I got to be less predictive. What round should Tom Wilson be drafted? Probably like round 12. Very good hit coverage. Could be power play 1. I don't mind that from Sav and Luke Hughes. Good IR stash. Byfield goes. So Nate's grabbing some of the young guns in Peterka and Byfield here. Interested to see who Cold Cuts goes. I think he might be taking who I think is one of the biggest steals in the draft right now. Let's see. Doesn't. That's a really good pick there, though. Really, really good pick. I'm actually surprised Nate just fell this far. I would have probably taken him over Peterka, Batherson, Michkov, Lindholm. Probably every forward that just went, I probably would have taken Nate just over. He has solid shot volume. He's going to be top 6, going to be power play 1 this year. It's a really good pick. I can't tell you guys the biggest deal of the draft just yet. Rupa hits in the 11th round. Yeah, it's crazy. That just shows the power of like true centers and why you should fade centers early if you can. Hannafin, I don't mind Hannafin either. He's going to be playing big minutes. They just have like a 3-headed monster in Petrangelo, Theodore, and Hannafin. I don't know what their power play situation is going to be like, but I know last year they were pure, like, they had a power play 1A and power play 1B last season. Drysdale or Boquist? I just don't think we know anything about Boquist this year, so I'm going to have to start with Drysdale. I don't know, though. It's really difficult. What round should Eichel and Barkov go? Like 4th round, 4th, 5th round. Is it Ryan Reeves? It's Ryan Reeves. You know it. You're on me. Yeah, there's still like honestly my favorite pick in the draft that's still available. Oh, so you grab both Vegas defensemen. Petro still has good category coverage. He's just a little bit aged. New Jersey's top line right now is Meyer, Hughes, and Bratt. So it's very exciting for that top line. I'm really excited to see what they do. Now, on paper, they're really good. It just, can they produce as a team offensively? I hope so. Or as a line as well. People are sleeping on Bennett. Yeah, Bennett's not who I'm thinking of, but there's a huge, huge steal in the draft. The guys are trying to guess. The two guesses I got were Vetrano, and then Chris said it's a defenseman. Both wrong. Can you post a full draft board in Discord when it's done? Sure, of course. Good suggestion. I like the Velarde pick there too. Dual position eligible. He's currently skating top line, power play 1. So Nate grabs his third defenseman in Rasmus Anderson the 12th round. So he really, really faded them. Seth Jones is gone. Who's he sure left to play with? Mercer and like Andre Palat. Ekholm, Harley. So just grabbing those like tier 2 defensemen, like guys that aren't power play 1 but should still have solid like 5-on-5 production. Buchnevich. So whoever was calling the Buchnevich pick, there he goes in the 12th round. So 4 rounds after Kyrou. A little bit less shot volume, but still good upside. Remember how happy you were about Bennett? Okay, so great pick, Shell Dog and Ghost Despair. He was one of the other guys I was thinking about that should definitely be off the board by now. And I love the Vetrano pick. That's who Don said was the sleeper I'm talking about. Vetrano is a great, great, great category guy. Like, look at these. He was like top 5 in blocks. He was like top 20 in shots, 37 goals. So he's great, great, great category coverage guy. That's falling a ton right now. Yeah, Kadri's a beast. I remember I made the guys last year guess how many points Kadri put up actually going into this year, and they all guessed like 60. I think he had 75 and like 250 shots. And his deployment should be great. I just don't think Calgary will be as competitive. Not that they were even competitive last year, but did WD man go, Mike? Who are you talking about? William Eklund. Looks like Eklund is playing top line right now. Wow, good pick in Binnington. I actually don't mind that. So he's going Saros, Binnington. So it's pretty much like 0G after he grabs Saros. Binnington should still get starts this year. I like Hofer as the backup. Like, he's a very competent backup, but it's still Binnington's net in St. Louis. Hopefully they're better this year. I was getting some comments about like Krug was like not good for them. Like, he was really hurting them. But like their defense wasn't a problem. It was their power play. That was the glaring issue in St. Louis. But hopefully with Bannister there, it should help. I was just talking to Noah about McCann today too. Not Noah's Need Team, Sven. And he's like a 30 goal lock, and he's going like 13th round. And he's like line 1, power play 1, should be playing 17 minutes a night. Good shot volume, good power play point production. Like, McCann's very solid late in drafts right now. I'm really liking these like these sleepers late in the rounds. Like, I think I would prefer McCann over Byfield personally. You think Grubauer would be out after this season? I have no idea what to expect from Grubauer or the goaltending at all on that team. Good pick in Ehlers. I respect the upside pick there. You grabbed Scheifele, so you grabbed Ehlers. That's fine. And he's a winger. Does Broberg have a chance for PP1? I'm going to say no, he doesn't. I think he's like 3rd or 4th in line there. I wonder if Ronjo grabs... No, he doesn't need any more peripherals, so he should just be focusing on the points. There it is. That's a good point. The issue is that he has 1, 2, 3, 4 pure Cs. Or no, Pedersen has winger eligibility too. So Suzuki's fine there. Could be trade bait at some point too. Daily Faceoff has Hurdle with Stone and PP1. I can find it in a little bit. I don't have it up right now. I'm not too high on Hurdle this year. But I mean, with Stevenson gone, it does open the door for another player to come in and make an impact. Did your steal go? Not yet. No. Still didn't go. I don't want to say it though, because I don't want him to be drafted right away. If you were picking between Svechnikov and a center like Aho and falls around 3 to 4, who would you go with? It depends on who you get in the first round. So if you grab a pure C in round 1, I'd probably be going Svechnikov. If not, it's definitely going to be Aho there. Just slightly. DeBrusque? Nope, not DeBrusque. Fantilli pick. So I did see he's currently not on the top power play unit in Columbus. So Chichu does exactly what I said earlier. He's going to grab the other Vegas goaltender, and that's completely fine. So he has the tandem on a team that should be very competitive, very good defensively this year. Okay, there it is. Cold cuts. Steal of the draft. Jeremy Swayman's not signed, guys. Like, Korpisalo is the starting goalie in this team. Even if you get half a season of starts for Korpisalo, he's going to be paying off massive, massive value in category leagues. So this is going to be really interesting to see. Boston turned Allmark from an average goalie in Buffalo to a Vezina candidate. Do I think Korpisalo is going to be a Vezina candidate? No, but do I think he's going to have his Ottawa Senators numbers? Absolutely not. That's the steal of the draft. And James Brooks called it out. He knew. I really, really like the Korpisalo pick this late in drafts. Like, there was a tweet that came out that said they're optimistic Swayman signs by December 1st. So let's say hypothetically he does. He still has to get like ready. Like, he still has to like prep for the season. So it's going to be a little bit of a delay there. They're going to be going 50-50 for the whole second half of the year if Swayman signs. You got to think. So I really, really like the Korpisalo pick. I'm extremely high on him. And if you guys are drafting soon, make sure you keep your eye on him. Because the 13th round for Boston starting goalie is completely outrageous to me. I love the Dursey pick, and I really like the Jenner pick as well. Jenner is a good category coverage guy. He's currently line 1. He's currently power play 1. On a per game basis, he's very good. It's just a matter of him playing. But when he's healthy, he's extremely good. Adam, I love Horvat too, by the way. If you need a third center, I really like it. Where would you draft Swayman? I probably wouldn't draft Swayman. Where would I draft him though? Like 8th round. There's just too much risk. Good pick in Nichushkin there. I don't mind those back-to-back high upside picks in Line A and Nichushkin. And as soon as the draft ends, you just toss Nichushkin on your IR and then you just pick someone up. Best available. I'm very curious to what everyone else thinks about the Korpisalo take. But I'm really, really high on him. Like, even if Swayman's healthy, if Swayman signs, like, Boston has never done a start. They haven't done a starting goalie in a long... Whoa, I did not know Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen has not gone yet. Another good pick by Pucking Pylons. Like, another good one. Shesterkin, Kochekov, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. That's very solid 3 goalies to have. I did not realize he was not drafted yet. Good pick in Landeskog. I hope he plays this year, man. If he does, he's going to be a very, very good steal. Again, another guy you just toss on your IR and you just look elsewhere. You just pick someone up. So with Gustafsson here, the one thing I saw so far in camp is that Minnesota might be running 3 goaltenders this year. So that impacts Gustafsson, Fleury, and Wallstedt, all 3 of them. It might be just a battle to who wins the net. I have no idea who the favorite is out of the group. Any thoughts on Korpisalo? Don't really hear much. He won't help you win playoffs, but he'll help you get to playoffs because you're only using your 13th round pick on him. It's not like you're drafting him in the 5th round. So, I mean, it's pretty low risk at 13th overall. And 13th round. Worst case, you do what we did with Hampus Lindholm. Was it 2 years ago when he was like the number 1 defenseman on Boston? If you drafted him when McAvoy was hurt, a lot of guys were trading him after the first couple months, and you got great value. So say Korpisalo starts off really hot, Swayman signs, or like right before December 1st hits, you trade away Korpisalo for like another top end player. You drafted him 13th round. So I really like it. If you can only stash one, would you take Landeskog or Nichushkin? Probably Nichushkin because he's more likely to come back and be effective, where Landeskog is a complete shot in the dark. I have no idea what to expect. And there goes Horvat. So Noah has McDavid, Zib, and Horvat as his 3 Cs. McCann's going to play wing. He's drafting really strong right now. I have a 20-man roto elimination draft coming up in 3 hours. At least 10 goalies will fly off the board by round 4. Any tips? Don't need to focus too heavy on goalies, Juke. I would be looking at grabbing like the Carolina goalies. They're going to fall. The Vegas goalies are going to fall. Korpisalo is going to fall. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, Kemper. Like, those would be my priorities. A Noonan. Let everyone take the big goalies, and you just draft the other guys that fall later. Wow, there goes Cam York. Really, really good pick. Man, this is a very... I gotta stop touting Noah's team right now, but this is a strong draft so far. York's probably one of the biggest sleeper defensemen this season. He played like 25 minutes a night in the last 30 games of the year. Good pick in Wilson. Don't mind that. 30-plus goals scored in the 14th round was crazy. Yeah, I couldn't agree more, to be honest. Even as your third center, I'm still fine grabbing him there. Like, play him when your lineup's full. Thoughts on Emerson? Yeah, he's solid. I don't know if he would go in a 12-team league, though, but he's going to be, like, definitely a guy we're watching in A, preseason for deployment, and then B, the start of the season to see how many minutes he's playing. But if we see Emerson playing 20-plus minutes and he keeps up his peripherals that we saw earlier, like, he should be a very solid pick later in drafts. I just don't fully know what his deployment's going to be, and then if he can upkeep those peripheral numbers like, going into this season. Shelldog, I like your team so far. I like the Ghost of Spare Falk picks. You grab pretty much like your defensemen are set for the year. Yeah, you've had a really strong draft. I do think you still need one more defenseman or one more goaltender. Sorry. Called the Corpusalo. Yep, James, you did. I didn't want to say anything yet. Can't imagine it takes so long to sign Swayman. I mean, it doesn't look promising right now. So they might have to move some things around to get him signed. But like, it's crazy that he's going to camp unsigned right now. Now, if he does sign, Corpusalo's value just drops off a cliff. But at current standing where you're currently drafting, I'm okay exhausting a 13th round pick to get the hypothetical Boston starter. You really think they'd wait to sign Swayman? I mean, that's the case right now, man. I don't think so. I think he should be signed like ASAP. But I heard they're like $2 to $2.5 million off in price right now. So we'll see. I don't think he's budging from the $8.5 million he wants. But again, with Corpusalo, you're not exhausting a lot of draft stock. So decent pick in Knight there. I hope he's the backup in Florida. I hope he can get like 30, 35 starts this season. But like Bobrovsky's like, he's like ageless. It's wild to see. He's like Sid. You think he's going to be in his last season and slowing down. He's just a machine again. So we're entering the last two rounds of the draft. This is where a lot of your lottery ticket picks are going to come in now. Like Spencer Knight. We might see like Cutter Gauthier go. We might see McGroarty go. Will Smith. Like some of those guys. I'd be surprised if we saw Bouillon go. Novak could get 65 plus points. He's just not power play one, but he has, I think he's skating with Stammer and Marchessault right now. He's just not power play one, which worries me. Oh, there goes Sam Bennett. Byram's interesting with no Dahlin there. So when last practice, when Dahlin was out, it was Yoki Haru who was power play one. So it's not Byram. Byram is not the next man up from what we're seeing right now. Has Laine went to? Yes, he did. Demidov, last round. I don't even think he's going to be in the NHL this year, so I probably would not be taking him. Laine went, like, I saw it right here, 13th round. No interest in power for me, guys. Just not a good peripheral guy at all. Evander Kane, so another IR stash right there for Sav's team. Pretty good IR stash if he comes back healthy and maybe halfway through the season could be really, really good value. Thoughts on Wool? He's just a health concern. But he's on a good Toronto team. I don't think he'll be like, I don't think he will be a league winner for you, but he could be like fair value in the 9th round. I liked him last year when he was going undrafted because I was not high on Samsonov. Good pick in Arvidsson there, Chichu. He's currently skating with Leon on the second line. Very good shot volume from Arvidsson. It's a very safe pick that late in the draft. Wow, another good pick with Mintyukov. Good peripheral guy. Don't know if he's going to be power play one, but he did have stints there last year. He's just not healthy right now. But I did see he was skating with the team trainer this morning, so hopefully that's a good thing to see moving forward. Do you prefer Skinner or N. Hopkins? Who's N. Hopkins? Oh, Nugent Hopkins. Or Jeff Skinner or Stuart Skinner. Gotta need a little bit more on that. Lekanen, good IR stash there. Neighbors actually had a lot of goals last season, and he had decent hit volume. I just think the goals are going to regress. The shot volume is just not good enough for me there. Like, Neighbors had like a 21% shooting percentage last season. Drew in line 1, power play 1 right now in Colorado. Don't mind that. Sucks to have a draft this early into the season. Draft a guy high and they go down. Yeah, I know. It's just hard to like mix in all the drafts within like a week span. Like, we have 12 we have to organize here. But everyone's in the same boat though, Papa, right? Everyone's drafting early in this league. So their draft might look different than what we see in the next 2 weeks. And you just got to adjust accordingly if you're in an earlier draft. Why would it work in December with the 2.5 mil? They're more flexible cap space. I just think they have to make a decision before that, and it might come down to the wire on the two of them. Like, I don't know. I'm not a GM, guys. I'm just going off of the news that I've been seeing recently, and it doesn't seem like they're close on the Swayman deal. Just from what I'm reading. I don't know what's happening internally, though. Good pick in Trevor Moore. Man, like, I got to stop saying it. Like, 244 shots, 92 hits, 30 goals in the 16th round. In the 16th round. Post-draft, I traded Aho, Stutzel, and Hedman for McKinnon, DeBrincat, Ghost Despair. So you traded your second, third, and fourth round pick for the second overall player. It's fine. It's you lose a lot of depth, but it's fine. Wow, interesting with Gustafsson. So early look, Sider's not power play 1 right now. It's going to be Gustafsson. So that's a good shot in the dark pick right at the end of your draft. That's what I've been saying. Moore seems good. Yeah, no, I agree. Moore does seem good. Like, I can't believe he's going in the 16th round. I wonder where he grades out in our projections in terms of value. I'll let you guys know right now. So he's like 160th right now. Probably could be a bit higher. Josh Norris, good lottery ticket pick. He's like dealing with injury again right now in preseason though. Like, it's been so weird to see the development of Norris. Ben should still be top power play in Dallas. Good hit volume. This late is like fine with me. Can't believe he's going 17th round. That's crazy to me. I actually didn't even notice the Cutter Gauthier pick there in round 15. Yeah, see, these are some of the lottery ticket picks. Record McGroarty, who has the chance to play top 6. Pittsburgh has like weak wingers. Like, their wingers are not good at all. Since they lost Gensel, right? Who's the number 1 center in Utah? It's going to be Hayton is what I'm seeing right now in camp. Celebrini, yeah. So there's a lottery ticket pick. Stankoven. Marner or Nylander? Nylander for me. Like, not really that close, though. Like, they're probably about 16 picks off. Is that really with the last pick? I like it. Pretty good draft, guys. What do you guys think? We got 11 more to do after today, so it's going to be exciting to see how all the other drafts shape out. I wonder if I can export some of this draft data, and then we can kind of give an analysis on the ADPs and the FPPL drafts. I'm very curious to see what some of the other drafters are saying after this, if they were really happy or upset with how their drafts ended up. I think Jimmy's going to have to grab another goalie here, right? He only grabs Sorokin. Okay, so this is the final draft. Wow, like crazy. I can't believe how fast that went by. I think right now, like, Pucking Pylons and Jimmy are my two favorite. Cold Cuts has a strong team. Noah's Neat team's really strong. It's a pretty good draft for most people. So the first round basically went as expected. The only surprise was Makar ended up at 10, where he's usually going around 8 right now. But I'm fine with the reach on Brady. Not really a reach, but Hughes went 11th, so he went over Kaprizov and Matt Tkachuk. Well, big upside pick there, but it does handcuff you as just the solo center position. But it looks like Nelson was the only other solo center he grabbed. So, and Trocheck. The first goalie, the biggest shock to me, I think, in this draft was the first goalie went 4.6. Well done. Great commentary. Thanks so much. I really appreciate that. It's super fun doing this, and I love talking with everyone as well. Kempe or Tage? Tage for me. Rough draft. From the inside, what team are you? If you were in this. Sheldon, what are your top teams? Sheldon, I thought you had a strong draft too, man. Like, it's so hard to say right now, but on paper, like, I guess, Sheldon, the only thing you need to do now is probably grab another goalie because there's a little bit of a question mark with Gustafsson. But other than that, you can stash Lehkonen. You can grab another goaltender. Your D look really solid. You have 4 power play, 1 defenseman. Sorry, 3, and then Sider. Sider's just a categories beast. You don't draft him for the power play upside. Was Nate. Don't like my team. Yeah, I think the Tavares was a little early. I love the Boldy pick. Like, your first 5 picks were really solid. Dougie's a bit early, but still really good. I think Hagel you drafted a bit early, and Peterka, but you got the guys you wanted, so it's hard to say. But you're going to have a question mark in net with Demko there. But I think you have a lot of really high upside guys, right? Line A, Nichushkin. Nichushkin just stash in your IR, pick a guy up. Not too big of a fan of Power. I don't think he's going to be fantasy relevant this year. Thanks for casting. I think I threw, but I'm okay with it. Chichu here. What's up, Chichu? I see you in the Discord all the time, so. You got Wyatt. I'm not sure how I feel about the EK pick, but you needed a defenseman. Then your later rounds were really strong. And I knew you were going to go the Vegas tandem. You had to go the Vegas tandem. So I think overall went well. Choking on some of my turns. See, everyone thinks they had a bad draft, but I mean, this is what happens when you're in competitive leagues like this, right? Like when you play with your friends for fun that don't really pay too much attention, it's like easy mode. That's what Sven always says. I draft on easy mode when I'm drafting with my friends, where this is a little bit more competitive. So I'm really excited to see how this league ends up. It's going to be super fun. We're going to have a live draft tomorrow night as well, guys. So for those that are in today and you want to tune in for tomorrow, we're going to have a live draft then. We're going to have a pretty hefty schedule coming up. We have a bunch of videos coming out this week. But we should basically be having a draft almost every day until like October 2nd. 22nd, 23rd, 25th, 26th, 27th, 28th, 29th, 30th, 1st, 2nd. Yeah, so it's going to be very busy the next little bit on the channel. So, I mean, I'm glad you guys are in here and enjoying the content so far. Really cool seeing the FPPL kicking into gear. That's Exertion, Division 1. Very interested to see how his no defenseman strategy ends up. Great job hosting the draft. Thanks, guys. Way to tear a 2nd overall pick. So tough. Again, guys, like, this is what happens when you play in competitive leagues like this. Like, yeah, it's pretty intense, but it's going to be fun, guys, because you can go back. This is going to be posted as a video on YouTube. So, A, you're going to be in some of our content on the channel, and then B, you get to go back when the season ends and look, like, where did I make mistakes? Or, wow, I can't believe I took that guy there. Like, it's going to be really fun for you guys to go back and review how your draft went. So, that's the fun part about live streaming all these. If you're interested in joining the FPPLs for future years, we only have a few spots left. Everything will be through here, so definitely go gauge your interest. Just fill out a form, and we'll make sure to contact everyone for next season. Once we reopen the leagues, we'll get everyone in. We're going to try and get 16, 20 leagues out next season. And if you're not in the Discord, please join the Discord. Like, this is the best part of doing this, is our community on Discord. We have everyone in their own channels in Discord as well. So all the league mates will be in their own Discord channels where you can talk trade blocks, you can trash talk, discuss your matchups, all of that. So it's really cool the way we're doing it this year, guys. I'm really excited for this league. I'm going to head off here, guys. Going to try and watch a little bit of football before the day ends for me. I got a real draft tonight at 9 p.m. I don't think I'm going to be streaming it because it's pretty competitive. It's about $100 buy-in league. So I want to make sure that I'm paying full attention. But yeah, thanks so much everyone for tuning in today. Make sure you leave a like on your way out. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, guys. And we're looking forward to a ton of content moving forward. Thanks so much, everyone.